Hello and welcome to Nordexium News. We cover global conflicts, military developments, and changing power dynamics around the world. I provide clear and direct analysis without political bias or media noise. Let's get into the news I have for you today. If you like the content, please follow, subscribe, and share it with others. Now, Netanyahu is no longer hiding what this is about. Netanyahu's latest remarks about social media expose something political leaders usually try to disguise behind language about security or misinformation. He is openly framing online criticism of Israel as a battlefield that must be brought under state control. That matters more than the rhetoric itself. When a government starts describing criticism as a coordinated hostile operation rather than public opinion, the line between national defense and political censorship starts disappearing. Netanyahu claims there is a concerted effort to vilify Israel online, but he provides no distinction between foreign information operations, organized activism, independent journalism, or ordinary public outrage over the war. Everything is folded into the same category: hostile speech. That is the part people should pay attention to. The logic behind these statements is straightforward. If criticism becomes defined as a threat to the state, then restricting platforms becomes framed as self-defense rather than censorship. Once that framework is accepted, pressure on social media companies becomes politically justified. The target stops being disinformation alone. The target becomes narratives the government cannot control. What stands out is the timing. Israel's image internationally has deteriorated sharply because of the Gaza war, civilian casualties, and the volume of footage circulating online. This footage circulates outside traditional media filters. Governments used to rely heavily on institutional media to shape public understanding during conflicts. That monopoly no longer exists. Social platforms broke that structure. Netanyahu is reacting to that loss of control more than to any single campaign. There is also an obvious contradiction here. Israeli officials repeatedly present Israel as the democratic exception in the region built on open debate. Yet when public opinion shifts in ways that damage state interests, the response sounds increasingly hostile toward that same open information environment. I do not accept the argument that this is only about combating disinformation. States always claim security necessity when they move against speech environments. They move against environments they cannot dominate politically. Sometimes foreign influence operations are real. Sometimes propaganda campaigns exist. But governments also exploit those realities to justify broader control over dissent. Netanyahu's comments fit that pattern too closely to ignore. My position is simple. Once leaders start talking about fighting back against platforms because criticism spreads too effectively, the issue is no longer security. It becomes a question of whether governments still tolerate uncontrolled public discourse when it stops serving them. That's all, folks. Stay cool and wake up.